It's been almost 2 years since I returned to Sri Lanka. I was born here, but I grew up far away in Australia, and I came back to find out more about this small island. Back then, when I first returned, everyone was talking about the giant tsunami that had caused death and destruction along the island's coastlines. But now the tsunami hardly gets a mention, and the country has returned to war. Sri Lanka is torn between contradictions. The beauty of a peaceful community that embraced cultural diversity for centuries against the savagery of modern war that is being waged between the government and the Tamil Tigers. The Tamil Tigers, or the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, have fought a guerrilla war against the government since the mid-1970s. They claim to defend the rights of the Tamil people, who have traditionally lived in the north and east of the island. The Sinhalese, who are the majority population, live mostly in the south. In 2002, the government and the Tamil Tigers agreed on a ceasefire, but the distrust remained. Negotiations were slowly collapsing when the tsunami forced everyone to confront a greater threat. There was hope that the tsunami would wash away the suspicion between the two sides and bring about a new era of cooperation and peace. But it wasn't to be. When the United Nations Secretary-General came to inspect the destruction, he was discouraged from travelling to Tamil areas. And then the Tigers and the government started bickering over the distribution of aid relief. Any hope of a reconciliation disappeared fast. Back then, there was a chance to create a lasting peace, but the conflict wasn't given the attention it deserved, and everyone was focused on the devastation caused by the tsunami. The violence has dramatically increased since the tsunami, and a lot of people are being killed. Natharaja Raviraj, an outspoken but moderate Tamil politician, was shot and killed as he was leaving for work. I haven't been here for that long, but it seems dangerous to speak critically against the government and the security forces.
It's only wisdom that can get us out of this situation. And that for wisdom, you need teachers. And I am saying the teaching is there, but they are not articulating it. Nobody is articulating it. But why should they?
Manik Sandrasagara's views on Sri Lanka and its future are different to most perspectives I've heard. He left Sri Lanka when he was 21 and spent time in the West promoting music and working in the world of entertainment.
See, all the dreams that one had in America, you could implement it here. The microcosm and the macrocosm. Sri Lanka, it was possible to do what you only dreamt of. And my life in America was Woodstock, moving to California, the spirit of America which really brought me back to Sri Lanka, spirit of America at that time, searching for your roots, searching for your background.
When Manik returned, he met up with a group of people who exposed him to the traditional perspective, and with them he explored the whole island. He also produced films and theatre, and became a well-known and controversial personality.
I don't follow the road they are on. I have followed my nose, and that has got me into a lot of trouble.
Manik had no problem speaking his mind. He expressed his views about foreign involvement in Sri Lanka and the devaluing of traditional culture.
You know, when they criticized me, that was about 20 years ago. Most of them are dead, And I'm living to see that I was right. Time is a wonderful thing. When you get to my age at 61, and you have been radical for 30 years of your life, and you have stuck only by principle, nobody paid you to say what you are saying, principle is right, the Dhamma is right, it's never wrong. I confronted the Dhamma in 1971. Since then, I have tried to be on the path, consciously. So I am saying the Dhamma protects those who live by the Dhamma. They don't need bodyguards.
Manik talks a lot about the Dhamma, which he describes as the middle path. Many of Sri Lanka's politicians and self-appointed leaders have bodyguards. And there are very few critical voices, like Manik's, that challenge the views and policies of the establishment. The government's perspective often dominates the news, and there is a lack of independent voices. There are journalists who try to do their job, but if they get too close to the truth, they are silenced. It's dangerous to be a good journalist here, and recently Sri Lanka received a poor rating for media freedom.
The whole world is revolving on training people to be somebodies. You know, all these courses, all these competitive sports, all these universities, it's all a race to become somebody. Sri Lankan culture was all about being nobody.
In 1956, an ambitious politician used the race card to get voted into power. He promised to make Sinhala, the language of the majority, the official language of the country. Majority rules ensured his victory, and the Sinhala-only Act was passed. This meant more Sinhalese people would get government jobs, and Tamil public servants who could not speak Sinhala fluently were forced to resign. Not everyone agrees that the language issue was the cause of the conflict, but the minority Tamils were discriminated against by the government, and when that happens, eventually there will be a backlash. Sunila Abesekara is a human rights defender, and a lot of her work deals with the end result of ignorant government policies. She's been tracking the political activities of Sri Lanka for a long time, including the emergence of Tamil militancy.
Young leaders came into the Tamil political parties, and the younger people got restive. They said, we've been waiting 25 years, and so what do you want? You want to wait another 25? And that's why the Tamil, the youth front of the TULF at that time plays such a key role in 1977 and afterwards in really, bringing the militancy back into the Tamil political movement. And then at some point that militancy becomes an armed uprising, so it's a kind of a long history.